Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Magic round in the bag. How good was that? Love it. I'm 100% booking tickets to go next year, without a doubt. Very good round of footy. Given the fact that HYNES scored his worst score in years. Well, he probably has a weird outlying score somewhere, but let's just say he has scored his worst score in years. And 88% of the top 10% of coaches captained him. I think I did all right. 1,269. Managed to come out unscathed. All right. I'm not too fast. I got myself back into the top 10%. My team value went up a fair bit. Quite a lot. Sitting okay. Let's have a look at how everything went. So Harry Grant with his 54 to top it off. Grant is an interesting one going forward. He's definitely not a trade, but if I was an owner, which I am, I might be looking at moving him on in around round 13 for someone who plays through Origin and the bye rounds. I just don't know what is going to happen with Grant when it comes to Origin. When the Storm had the Cheese, obviously they shared their minutes. The Cheese isn't there anymore, so it's a very big question mark around what is going to happen with Grant through Origin. So he's one for a question mark later on. Fanua Blake. Now, 3 weeks ago, I was worried because I didn't own Payne Haas. 3 weeks in a row, Fanua Blake has outscored Payne Haas. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Now, I traded Fanua Blake. I traded Stefano to Fanua Blake. And I'm fairly sure 102 against the Storm, 85 against the Roosters, 91 against Panthers. I'm pretty sure he's outscored Payne Haas over 3 rounds. And he's also got, he's 738k now with a BE of like 50. I think it's 50. Break even of 51. He's probably got a little bit more to go. I reckon he ends up getting up to about 750, 760k. He honestly could be a straight swap. He could be a straight swap. Fanua Blake to Payne Haas after Origin if Fanua Blake maintains some of his minutes or most of his minutes. Anyway, pretty happy with that. Tarpany, 63. That's what you get. If you want 60 points in your front row, you get Tarpany in. If you want some upside, you look at players like DeBellin. DeBellin scored 91 this week. He's got some upside. Obviously, Fanua Blake. There's not much upside in the front row. Tarpany, unfortunately, this season does not have upside. He will get you 60 points and that's it. I don't know why. I think Ricky has changed something in regards to Tarpany's game plan. I don't know. I watch him and he doesn't look anything like he did last season. There's not as many offloads. Yeah, I don't know. But as I said, he'll get you a job. So Tarpany 63. Lemuelu, my man. I got Lemuelu. I got Lemuelu in at about 340k. Or close to it. This guy is going to make me upwards of nearly 300 plus K. I never expected that. I'm fairly sure Lemuelu, he's got a negative break even this week after already making 297k. He could potentially make more money than Hopgood. Let that sink in. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Obviously he doesn't play this week, so that negative break even runs into next week, which he plays the Storm. Even if he was to get an okay score, he will probably make decent cash. So, wow, 79, pretty decent. Sorry about this cough, guys. It's just randomly popped up. The Horse with a 62. Amazing. He's made a lot of money since I got him in, which was the goal. He also has a decent BE this week, only 22, so he'll go up again in price. Preston with a try. I think Preston scored a try. 39 break even. He will go up again in cash this week. See, this is the idea, guys. You want to get some players in that will make you cash. There's a lot of teams out there right now that have just got a team full of players that are dead in the water or have completely peaked. And I feel like if you have a team full of players that have completely peaked in price and you've used max trades and all of your boosts, I think you're going to be in trouble. So keep that in mind. You don't want to be in that position. Maddo, 78. He played 60 minutes. I feel like that is going to be somewhat of the norm going forward. He's better. He's better when he only plays the 60 minutes anyway. So, I mean, 78 points in 60 minutes. You can't ask for much more from your second front rower. Amazing. Hosking, 67. Ford with a 44. I'm pretty sure Ford came off the field for a bit there, so the 44 is a bit... But he's obviously staying in the side because he covers round 13. So, HYNES. HYNES with his sweet 40. I am so glad the masses went with the C on him. I really am. Because I've had a horrific 3 weeks of captain choices. I went Turbo 3 weeks ago. Shit the bed. I went Cleary last week in the pouring rain. Shit the bed. And now I've gone HYNES with his 40 this week. And he had his worst game in 2 years. So, surely it's due. Surely a nice captain choice is due. It's only around the corner. So, Dillbags with 116. He is looking amazing. His ball running right now is honestly up there with the best in the comp. That left side of the Eels is insane. It's just one of those things like, now that Moses is down for, I think it's 11-day stand down with his category 1, you're going to be seeing a lot of attack go down that left side. a lot of attack go down that left side. So I believe that if you don't have Dylan Brown, definitely get him in this week. I'm pretty sure his BE is quite low yet. He's got a BE of 6. If you don't get him in this week, good luck trying to get him in next week and the week after, because that 116, along with his other 109, is going to be in his rolling average for quite some time. So definitely get Dylan in if you haven't already got him. I wish I had Dylan Brown and Cody Walker, but it is going to be very, very difficult to be able to achieve that at this point because of a guy named Josh Schuster. So don't really want to talk too much about that because it's a little bit of a sore spot. But anyway, we're going to go down to our wing and centres. Manu, an 86 in a Roosters side that got absolutely dismantled by Cowboys, which I absolutely loved. I watched the game And I know Manu did a lot. He made a lot of runs, a lot of tackle breaks, a lot of line. I'm not quite sure about line break. I don't think he made any line breaks. But to score an 86 as a half in a side that got battered, that's impressive. That's very impressive. I'm fairly sure Sam Walker would not have got 86 in that side. Val Holmes, 51. Look, the conditions didn't really suit Val. But next week, he's got the Dragons. I think next week is definitely an opportunity to captain Val Holmes. It's an option. It's definitely a top 5 option next week for Val Holmes to be a pod captain against the Dragons. The Dragons could not even... Honestly, I'm a Dragon supporter. And that game against the Tigers... I agree with Ben Hunt. That is far from NRL standards. I think the Cowboys are going to have a lot of fun next week up at Townsville against the Dragons. Garrick, 83. I've never seen so many people lose their mind about how a player scores in Supercoach more than I did on the weekend when Garrick scored his 83. The amount of salty owners that were upset that Garrick got an 83 was incredible. People don't understand that Garrick makes a lot of runs. When he makes a lot of runs, he also follows that up with tackle breaks, line breaks, tackles himself. Everything adds up over time, and especially if Garrick is constantly aimed at by the opposition. The more the player has the ball, the more points a player will score. He scored 83 fairly. So I don't understand why people crack the shits if they don't understand how the scoring system works. Same with Turbo. He got peppered. He saw a lot of ball. That means a lot of runs. That means... I could go on about it forever, but I won't. Katoa with his 42. Katoa, I'll be honest, has been fairly underwhelming since I bought him in. So I really wanted a piece of the Sharks with their soft draw. But he's gotten a 42, a 53, and a 57 since I got him in. Now, that is a little bit annoying. He does have Manly next week at 4 Pines Park. Look, the Sharks could very well look to bounce back after that embarrassing loss. I just don't know if Katoa is going to be the focal point of that bounce back. They obviously want to go down the other side. Yeah, I don't know. I grabbed Katoa for his value, but I don't think that was the right choice. Anyway, moving on. Gutho with his 67. How disappointing was it to see Gutho get 10 in the bin, 10 minutes into the game, minutes after he just got a try assist? He was on 20 points after 7 minutes, then he got binned. If he didn't get binned, you're looking at 10 extra points, 10 extra minutes worth of points, plus, let me say that again. If Gutho didn't get 10 in the bin, he would have had 10 minutes worth of points to gather up, and he wouldn't have lost the points that he lost during that sin bin. I'm pretty sure Gutho would have been close to 90 after that. If he didn't get sin binned, which was a fair sin bin, but if he didn't get sin binned, he would have been on 90, which I would have been more than happy with. That's an extra, 23 points, which is that probably would have knocked me up a further couple of thousand rankings. That extra 23 points. So anyway, I'm very glad with that trade, to be honest with you. I think that going forward over the next 3 weeks, I would much rather own Gutho than Walsh. I'm pretty happy with how that's gone about things. So if you have a look at Gutho now, he's got his BE of 61. He's up against the Raiders. I'm fairly confident he will hit that. Obviously without a sin bin. And then if you look down here, you've got Souths, and then you've got the Cows, the Bulldogs, Manly, into Dolphins. That's a nice draw. That's a nice draw. If you have a look at Walsh, Walsh has got the Roosters. He's got... Is it the Roosters? It's the Roosters or the Panthers. He's got the Roosters and the Panthers, and then Walsh goes into Origin. I'll be very, very shocked. I'll be very shocked if Walsh does not play Origin. You're looking at a fullback that is by far more confident and in form than Ponga is right now. Ponga isn't training at fullback. And if you're the coach of Queensland and you're looking at Ponga right now and you're thinking he's one head knock away from the Queensland side being without a fullback in game 1, it would almost be a no-brainer to go with someone who is electrifying at the moment. That's just me. I don't know. I could be very, very wrong. They could slot Ponga in and Walsh gets left in the rain, but I don't think so. I think you're going to be seeing Walsh play Origin, and I think people who have Walsh in their side and aren't going to get rid of him between now and round 13, I think you're going to be left with no fullback. Unless, of course, you have a backup fullback, by all means. But Walsh is definitely going to start dropping some cash, which he already has. So, happy with Gutho. Gutho's on the up. He'll probably end up being just over 800k. He'll do a job through the Origin period. And I'm going to definitely try and go Gutho to Latrell at some point by downgrading one of my cash cows to someone a bit cheaper, and then I'll fatten him up because I definitely want a piece of Latrell for the end of the season. So anyway, got Buller in, which was obviously a part of the plan. He has already started to make 80k. He's already on the way up again. He's got a negative BE again this week. Negative 32 break even for Buller, so he will make an extra 60, 70k next week. Things are going all right. The players that I definitely want out of my side going forward, Sloan. I don't think Sloan is of NRL standard in the slightest. And I fell into the trap of hoping that he would be one of those players where it could be 80 to 90 one week, 20 the other, 80 to 90 one week, 20 the other, whatever it is. But I think that you would have to... I don't want to have a player that is 485k sitting on my wing centre bench where I'm not playing him at least consistently or at least 1 out of 2 rounds. Sloan is gone for me going forward. I bought him in 2 weeks ago. It's not good. It's not good. I don't want him in my side. So, trade thoughts. Now, if I was to consider some trades this week, the first 2 trades off the top of my head right now, without actually going too deep into it, would be Sloan out. And I think I might roll the dice on the Dolphins debutant, Valence, T where, you know, I'm not even going to bother trying to pronounce that correctly. So he could definitely come in. Now, I don't know. I know Aiken's gone for 2 to 4 weeks with his hamstring. I think there is definitely a world where Bennett could prefer him over Branko Lee. I'm just not overly confident with it just yet. I wouldn't mind seeing another week from him. But if he's going to be a centre that's going to score 50, 60 week in, week out with a bit of upside, which he showed on the weekend, I think grabbing him at 200k is a no-brainer. And obviously with that, with the 300k in the bank, there are options right now that I could go down. I could go down an option where I go a Warbrick up to an AJ, or I could go a Preston up to Fafita, or I could go... There's really not much else in my side at the moment that I want to change. I do really want to bring in Fafita. I don't want to watch Fafita anymore being a non-owner. I stuffed up back in round 3 and traded Fafita out. Terrible decision. I don't want to have that haunt me for the rest of the season. So, it's interesting. I don't know. Hosking to Fafita could be the go, because Hosking obviously doesn't play around 13. Neither does Fafita, but at the end of the day, who would you rather? You'd rather Fafita. So, those are my 2 trade options that I'm considering right now. Obviously, nothing is a lock, but that's my thought process right now. Not going to use a boost. I don't need to, so I'm not too fussed. If you optimize it, 1,291. Projections mean nothing this time of the week, obviously. But if I was to look at potting a captain this week, I don't know. Now, HYNES has Manly at 4 Pines Park. I think HYNES can obviously still do a job there. But there are definitely some more options out there this week for captain choice. Now, I've obviously said Holmes against the Dragons is a good shout. Fafita against the Knights is obviously another good shout. Gutho against Canberra, probably not the best shout. Cleary to do a job against the Roosters. Now, I think, after what I've seen from the Roosters on the weekend, I think Panthers could do a job on the Roosters this week. I think that game where on the weekend Cleary started to look a little bit like himself again, and the Roosters are in a little bit of trouble. So Cleary could definitely be an option. But anyway, that's my thoughts. That's how I went on the week. That's my current thoughts with 2 trades. Other than that, if you haven't already, sub to the channel. It helps a lot. Comment how you went in the comments. Let me know what your trades are this week, how you're thinking. Obviously, we won't know too much until tomorrow's teams is Tuesday, but let me know how you went. Let me know how you're going in your rankings. And if you haven't subbed already, sub up. And thanks for tuning in again. Other than that, I'll talk to you all towards the end of the week. Cheers.